Good evening, you're very welcome to the Daily Rundown with me, Fiona Fox. Now on the show tonight, we're going to be chatting about the big stories of the day, including dogfighting, fracking, tourism and even second-hand cars. And a little later on, we're going to be talking to Friends of the Earth about the Great British Bee Count. But let's see who's joining me on the couch to make sense of it all this evening. Blogger and reality TV star, Ms. Jackie Wright is here. Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
Very welcome this evening. And comedian and lifelong friend of the Daily Rundown,
Yes.
Stephen Armstrong.
Yes, pleased to meet you. And again, everybody, yes, I'm back. This time, due to lack of popular demand, I am back.
In the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's it, just generally, yeah. Anything that'll have me.
Well, the career, it's lovely to see both of you. I know I've got lots to talk about, so we'll just crack on. You guys at home can get involved with the programme as well. Don't forget, you can tweet us at the Daily Rundown, and we would absolutely love to hear from you. Comments on our stories or anything you want to say is all welcome. Let's go to our first story. Tunisian officials have urged the UK government to relax its advice warning against all but essential travel to the country. This is because of a 90% drop in British visitors in the first part of 2016. The guidance has been in place since 31 British holidaymakers were killed in 2 terror attacks in Tunisia last year. Now, while the current warning is in place, most travel insurance policies will be invalid for those who plan to travel to the country. The ambassador has said the improvements in security made by the country should be taken into account. What do we think about this? Holidaymakers, were they making their way to Tunisia?
I wouldn't have thought so.
All this, would you go, Jackie?
I wouldn't know.
You feel like you wouldn't go? Would you go back to Tunisia again? Or
I don't think I'd be happy going to any Islam country, you know, like Egypt even. Next to Egypt.
We know the one you mean.
But yeah, I wouldn't be happy going to anywhere like that.
You would feel still that there's a threat there, obviously.
Yeah, because apparently they're saying that the help that, you know, we should feel safe now going there because they are targeting these terrorists and they are finding them and arresting them and doing stuff. But I think, well, yeah, but they're there.
Yeah,
you can't deny that they are there because they are there.
So there's definitely that level of threat still there. You feel anyway. What about you, Stephen? Have you been to Tunisia either?
Yeah, I've been to Sousse. I've been to Sousse a few years ago. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, Tunisia is where you go because Star Wars was, the Cantina in The New Hope was filmed in Tunisia, and I
thought
think
it was those middly ones that people don't like were filmed.
No, The New Hope, the original ones, not the toy adverts.
Right.
I would say, I mean, I understand the concerns because I mean, in the paper, the ambassador was saying that they're shutting down terrorist cells every week, and he thinks that that's a positive thing. Now, if you're shutting them down every week, then they would suggest that there's a, if you have a problem that happens every week, then you would sort it out. But on the flip side, if we were to rule out countries where there have been terrorist attacks, then we wouldn't go to France, we wouldn't go to Spain, we wouldn't go to Ireland, we wouldn't go to Manchester. We wouldn't go to Manchester.
Yeah, London.
I think the security, there's often this heard phrase of, if we change the way we live our lives, then, the terrorists, to say, or the bad people win. And I think that 90% reduction in tourist is going to hurt any country. I'm a resident. I mean, I'm born and raised, born and inbred in the Lake District, and we had the foot and mouth, thing. I mean, we're still in Cumbria. It's still, there's still the old adage, if it's cold tourist season, why can't we shoot them? But this may be, in these instances, this is a real life situation where somebody did actually do this. They did go onto a beach and kill innocent people. But I would go to Tunisia. I would advise anybody who wants to go to Tunisia, go to Tunisia.
Not let this kind of stand in the way.
No, don't let it stand in the way. I've travelled to Brazil, and on Brazil.
See, I wouldn't like Brazil.
In Brazil, you get on buses in Brazil, and you go through a bulletproof glass door.
Yeah, I don't like Brazil.
You get there's purple and blue curtains on the windows, and depending which colour you have depends on which window kicks out if you get a hostage situation. Everybody has a gun. All these countries. I mean, personally, I would go to Tunisia more than I would feel comfortable travelling to a country such as America if we were just to purely base it on violence. I think that we make that choice. The idea that we as a British nation have told people to not travel, and there aren't direct flights to two of the airports in Tunisia. There's only one direct flight that flies from London to Carthage, and we owe it to the people of Tunisia, the good, right-thinking people of Tunisia, to go there and say, listen, yeah, you've taken these steps to make your country safe. Nobody's safe. You wouldn't step out your house if you didn't do that.
It's still very fresh in people's minds, I think, though. I think that does take a long time to go away. Do you not think so? I mean, maybe it's directly related to how recent it was. It was only last year. I know there's been lots of other things happening in the meantime that actually have made it feel like maybe it was longer. But one thing I do remember is when I went to Egypt for the first time, and I went to Luxor. I don't know if you've been, but you might have heard the Luxor massacre is from the 90s, I think, as well. And the level of security now, obviously you had the opposite effect, because I couldn't believe the tourist buses had police escorts front and back. There were police helicopters. We did Valley of the Kings. There were police helicopters. It was really intense.
I found that a bit scary, I think.
I found it scary. So my point is, I had the opposite effect anyway.
Yeah, I find that a bit scary.
I don't know who would have been slipping through there, or who would have been.
Yeah, who were they expecting?
Yeah, but anyone who would have taken steps or any terrorist kind of measures would have been just obliterated in an instant. However, it does have a kind of an opposite effect. So I'm just wondering, what does it take before everybody does kind of feel safe to go back to somewhere that has been hit or has been attacked?
I think for me personally now, I think it doesn't matter where I go. If I'm getting on a plane, at one time you just had to worry about if they lost your suitcase. That was it.
Yeah.
But now, I think now in this day and age, it wouldn't matter where that plane was going. Now I'd feel tense.
So you think we're in an entirely new age now? Again,
it's changed. It's changed.
We have talked about this in the show a few times. Has it changed, or are we just hearing more about it? Are we getting live Twitter feeds when there was the recent Egypt?
I think that
hijacking.
I think that we are in that situation now. If something happens in, if something happens to a poor village in out of Mongolia, we will know about that within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be that you
might never hear them.
Yeah, well, I'm still of the age where, we used to go on holiday to Spain, and we used to moan about the fact that you couldn't get that day's British paper. You were a day behind with the news.
It's true.
But we live in that world now. Well, it's not too long ago that we were complaining about the fact that we were a day behind what was happening in England when we were in Spain.
Now we can't even sit down and watch a programme, can we, without being ruined on us from the other side of the world.
Yeah, and interrupting and breaking news, but I suppose that there is also the argument that, it's not an argument that we want to put in place, but the safest place to go to after an attack
is that place. Yeah, it is.
Because, you will make sure that is 100% packed down and held down. And I just think that I don't know. It's a difficult situation, because obviously you don't want to say to people, just put all those legitimate fears of, because it's a legitimate fear. If you fear that you are going to be in danger, then that is a legitimate fear, because you are feeling that fear. Whether you think it's a fear or whether it's dangerous or not, I personally, I wouldn't go walking in certain areas. I don't feel comfortable about my partner walking in certain areas of this country. That's not because it's dangerous. That's because in my head, it's the same reason when I went out as a 15-year-old boy delivering papers on a Sunday morning. I was worried that there was somebody who was an axe murderer was going to come and get me. They weren't. I was in a small market town in the Lake District.
It's that potential, isn't it?
It's that potential, that fear. You build up that fear. Fear is fear is something that it doesn't exist, but it can terrify you.
That's true. I agree with that. But having said that, there's the very, very real reasons why somebody in this situation might not want to travel. For example, Tunisia versus Tenerife, for example. Tenerife seems an obvious choice to somebody who would be fearful of their safety.
It would, but the thing is that to get to Tenerife, you still need to get in a tin can that floats in the air.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't matter where I was going to now. It would not matter. I would still feel tense.
And you wouldn't have before?
No.
Previously. And is that... I don't know, because I have had a lot of people say they get. Is that a direct result of terrorist attacks?
Yeah, I think
or is
it
that
is.
like kind of
Yeah,
a
I think
sense
it
of
is.
mortality?
Yeah, I think it is.
It's
Yeah.
completely shaking you.
At one time, I never used to think. I used to think I'd probably get run over, but now I think at some point, it wouldn't surprise me if I'm going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and be blown to bits. I don't.
Right, but isn't I mean,
it does
that's
cross my
obviously
mind.
indicative. Though that is an interesting viewpoint. Stephen's laughing at you here about that.
I'm not laughing at you. No, I'm not.
It's fine,
laughing.
Steve,
No,
it's fine.
I'm not laughing at
No.
you because I'll tell you, if you were to tell me that there were 4 clowns outside, then I would quite happily stay in here and starve to death because I don't want to face clowns.
There's a few clowns outside. To be
Boom! I think that there are situations that I wouldn't feel comfortable in that you would just stride into with no qualms or anything like that. It's just a case that if you feel worried about a situation, then it's wrong of anybody to kind of go,
It's wrong
I
for
can,
them to
I
laugh.
can say, well, yeah.
No, it is. No. Like obviously, if someone has a very real fear,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
very real
if
regardless. But like, just unfortunately in this situation,
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
exactly what you've described, Jackie, it has had a knock-on effect on tourism in these countries. Your point, Stephen, was obviously, not obviously, but it was that we should support Tunisia. They have taken measures, they have taken steps and put them in place to make it more safe. But it seems like we've still got a long way to go before people actually will start returning to the country. And as it is, the insurance companies aren't happy to cover
That's
it
right,
anyway.
yeah.
It's going to be
That's
cheap.
right.
It's going to be cheap to holiday in
But
Tunisia.
the other side
It is,
of
it is.
the other
Yeah, it
side
is.
of it is it's going to be cheap. So
It is
you kind of
gonna
have
be
it's an uneasy kind of. It's about you go over there for your holiday.
No worries for sun lounges next to the pool. The hotel rooms, you'll be able to get a sea view. You'll be able to get anything. You'll be able to. There will be massive. It will be like
Photos of the armed guards.
Yes, I flew on a plane once and had a whole row to myself. It will be like having a whole hotel to yourself.
You might
It'll
be on your own
excellent.
over there for a while anyway.
Wonderful, excellent. All the
Thanks
move
very
for
much
me.
for that, guys. We're going to go for our first break of the evening. Don't go anywhere. We have lots more news and a very special interview coming up as well. See you soon.